Good morning, good people. Today is Tuesday, October 8th, 2024. It is about 6 o'clock. Well, it's before 6 o'clock here this morning in wonderful Pahrump, Nevada, Nye County, southwestern Nevada. And here we are once again to help our students and interested people on their journey through this life. And it is a life with a transcendent soul, meaning we have this life and then there is something after it. It's not the case that it's simply we are born, stuff happens, and then we die. No, it's not just that. La vida loca is not the case. It is not the case that Hitler and Mother Teresa are in the same place right now. And the way we perform and act in this life has an impact on what happens next. So that's our belief. So we're here to help people on that journey through life heading towards a destination. It's not just a never or a limited road trip. There's more to it than that. And the evidence is the evidence is more and more compelling each day that we have a transcendent soul. Good morning, what a bevy. Is it what a bevy or what a bevy? You tell me. So again, here we are to help our students and interested people in the journey through life. How do we do it? Well, we do it through the podcast and the worksheet down below. The key stuff is on the worksheet. That's where the experts are. And it's broken down to 4 areas: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. 4 legs of a table. And if you have a 4-legged table and you want to stack a lot of stuff on that table, all of the knowledge and prizes and etc. of a lifetime on that table, what do the legs need to be? Solid, right? They need to be solid. So we help you build the table and put stuff on the table. And the second thing, well, actually the first thing I said, but the other thing is the podcast, this podcast. The thing about the podcast is about repetition. So how are things in Fort Jacks? What a bevy. And did you see your brother yesterday? Number 1 son, did you see him yesterday? Splendid. Things are splendid. Is there a hurricane coming? And no, he is ghosting. Okay. Okay, cat 5. Oh, okay. So that's why no work today. Okay, all right. So hurricanes in Florida, who would have thunk? Well, anyway, the second thing is the podcast. And the thing about the podcast is twofold. Number 1, repetition. Creating better habits. Number 1. Number two is community. So it's a lot better when Wadabevi is here, when Maticus von Atticus is here, Untersergeant Ordinaire is here. So you start at 10, that's at 7, so that's in an hour. Where is you at now? While we're waiting for that answer, the meme of today is IQ. Panera. Good. The theme of today is IQ. How important is IQ? What is IQ? But in the meantime, let's see some other things. What do 80-year-olds say? Advice from an 80-year-old. Always accept an outstretched hand. I can think of exceptions to that. But in general, I would agree, and it is advice. It's not a rule. Right you are. Down below, red letter, the only red letter thing today is Jordan Peterson TED Talk on IQ. It's I think it's Jordan Peterson's best one on IQ. So let's talk about IQ. What is it? Good morning, Maticus Von Atticus. You are there. I sent Phil Marshall the link. Good. IQ intelligence quotient. Good morning, sir. Good to see you here, Maticus Von Atticus. IQ, what is it? Okay, so intelligence quotient, but what is it? What is it? And so Jordan Peterson, the video will talk about there's actually two forms of IQ, crystallized and fluid. Crystallized, and he will say crystallized is what all of the IQ tests measure. Your crystallized IQ, not your fluid IQ. Crystallized Q is what you know. So an illustration I like to use is a bucket. A bucket is containing all of the stuff that you know. And at different ages, you need to have the bucket filled up more. By the age of 5, here's what should be in the bucket. By the time you graduate from high school, here's what should be in the bucket as measured by what? The SAT and other tests. Through elementary school, they have other IQ tests that people take in English and math specifically. The ASVAB is an IQ test. Jordan Peterson talks a lot about the military and IQ tests. They're all IQ tests. And the idea, again, is not how you can figure out solving problems. That's fluid IQ. This is about what you know. So to get into a good university, you need to know this much. You need to know more than a not good university. And it turns out if you take the people who just have the top IQs and they also have good fluid IQ, but this is more of remembering stuff, the crystallized IQ. If you take the people that have the high IQs, they've accumulated a lot of knowledge, and you put them together in an educational setting relying upon their fluid IQ, they're going to do really, really well if the curriculum pulls them up. That's why if you have a high IQ, you don't want to go to a mediocre school, because you're not going to be pulled up to learn more. Because what? Because you have to be at the pace of the mean student. Because if it's too hard, if you have freshmen at UNLV doing the same kind of work that they do at, say, Caltech as freshmen, everybody's going to flunk. Probably literally everyone will flunk. Probably no one will be at UNLV or Cal State or College of Southern Nevada, CSN. Nobody who could go to Carnegie Mellon or Caltech will be at UNLV or at CSN. They just won't be there. So probably everybody will flunk what is a standard freshman course at a top university. Everyone will flunk. That means the curriculum has to be lower so they don't flunk, so they're not going to be learning as much as the people who have the high IQs. IQ is important. Unfortunately, I would say 19 out of 20 people that you randomly ask on the street, what is IQ? They're going to describe fluid IQ, not what you know, not your accumulated knowledge. They're going to talk about your ability to solve problems. And that is a big one, but it's not what is measured in standard IQ tests. That's a different type of test. And, you know, if you're going into, I don't know, maybe survival school, it might be very good to give you a test on solving problems. Certainly in Star Trek, the Kobayashi Maru test, right? Can you solve this unsolvable? How would you solve this unsolvable problem? Okay, it's not about accumulated knowledge. Yeah, your accumulated knowledge helps, but because it's a no-win question, there is no information you can learn from the past to help you solve it in the future, unless you find out it's a no-win solution or a no-win question. Things in Prescott are okay. I have work to do today. Great. What kind of work? Secret work. Important work. So IQ is very important. Most people don't know what it is. It's basically when the general term is thrown out, what's your IQ? The real question from people who know what the question is what do you know? What is your accumulated knowledge? And the higher your accumulated knowledge, the better you're going to do. Say, for instance, if here's an easy one. In the veterinary business, let's say large animal vets, they have a lot of accumulated knowledge, right? And you can talk about what is your large animal vet IQ? How much do you know about that? And if you don't know about that, like somebody like me, you'd have a low large animal vet IQ. You'd have a low IQ for large animal vets. And nobody would want to pay you to work on their vet because you wouldn't know anything. It has nothing to do with your knowledge of football statistics, who's doing what. The IQ, the sports IQ of bookmakers is very high, but it's not general IQ. However, generally, the better your fluid IQ, the more crystallized IQ you can have. Nolan Bushnell brings fluid IQ down to the level of how quickly your brain can learn things. And if you can learn things just a little bit like fractions of a second faster than other people, what's going to happen is you're going to fill up your bucket. That fluid IQ is like a pump and it works a little bit faster than the average pump. You're going to fill that bucket up more. And you're going to be perceived as smarter, even though it's not that you're actually smarter. You just have a pump, your fluid IQ is faster. But there's problems. Could be problems. So yesterday, Daniel Amen talked about brain damage, right? Damaging your brain. And the example he used, he talked about 5 ways to damage your brain. So to take what he said and apply it to today, that would be like saying brain damage is like holes in the bucket where what you know leaks out. And then he says a smart program fixes your brain. Well, that would be like patching the bucket. Also, in a smart brain program, you're focusing on fluid IQ to remember stuff that was in the bucket that drained out. Memories that are lost, smart brain smart program is going to have you relearn the stuff that's draining out of your bucket. So you remember it. And it's a constant process. Okay, so IQ is very important. It's accumulated knowledge. What does that mean we need to do? ABC, always A, always B, C, learning. Always be learning, ABC. We need to do ABC, always be learning. Why? Well, it keeps our fluid IQ working. It keeps the pump working. We get used to processing information, all of the stuff that's out there, filtering out what's not important and filling the bucket with important stuff. That's why it's not good to watch random stuff on YouTube. It's better to be focused on things that will help you move through this life. We say always be stirring at work. A, B, C. All A, all, always B, B, C, stirring. Always be stirring. Good. So, so you want to be continually working your fluid IQ, the pump, learning stuff that has value, putting into your crystallized IQ, what you know, into that bucket. That's where our worksheet comes in. It's good, important, valuable information from experts that you can use for your life. That, well, that's what it is. So if you're using your fluid IQ on the worksheet, doing the stuff on the worksheet, the stuff in your bucket will be important and relevant and stuff like that. So Matt's bucket is filled with what? A lot of military information that most people don't find important. Yeah, if you had a grad school class, in university grad school class in a particular subject, the year 1944 in Russia, Matt is our guy. Boom. Good morning, Diana. Matt is our guy. But if it is just general IQ stuff, probably not. Why? Because the fluid IQ was used to learn other kinds of information. Instead of being applied to useful information, it's applied to interesting information. All right. Okay, we're coming up on 16 minutes. I got to go next door and fix somebody's sink. And yeah, as our friend, who Mark Watney would say, and yeah. So with that, I'm going to say Shivas and Shalomo. Have a good day. I'm going to be in Vegas today. So I will talk to y'all, Ewans. I'll talk to Ewans later.